we're rolling as a team like this in the parking and paddock areas, we want to stay very tight together. And once we get on the racetrack, we'll spread out. So just stay close to the car ahead, please, when we're taxiing like this. Now, good morning, folks. My name is Brendan Chaffel. I go by BC. I'll be leading you around this first track session. We're going to get out there and just learn the basics of the racetrack, like where our turn-in points and apexes are. Also learn which gear you need to be in around the racetrack. Get used to the paddle shifters initially. Anytime we're approaching the racetrack, it's important that you clear your heads and you get your focus to a high level. Even though we'll be going somewhat slow around the track this first time, it's very important that you understand, all the basic stuff that I'm going to cover with you. All right, folks, we're going to cruise out here, and we're going to upshift to third gear. That's where we're going to start from. Now, you're just going to have to be patient with us today because these cones will probably most likely blow over. It's supposed to be gusting, obviously, 40, 50 miles an hour. So the cones will be in about where they should be. Okay, so for instance, up ahead we have our turn-in cone on the left. When your front bumper arrives at the turn-in cone, that general area is where you're going to start to make your way off the edge to head to the apex of a corner. Apex is indicated by an orange and green cone, so a green collar around the top of it. This is the big front straightaway where we handle our rotations. We'll do one next time we get up here, so just be ready for that. We'll upshift to fourth gear, and then about 2/3 of the way down this long straightaway, you're going to upshift to fifth gear. Now, a few of the corners have number boards counting you down until your turn-in cone. They just provide reference as you approach a braking zone or where your turn-in point is. They're 100-foot intervals down to the turn-in cone. Just give you that closure reference coming into the corner. You'll downshift to fourth gear before you turn into turn one. Okay, your turn-in cone there on the left. You'll turn in, you'll want to get your tires about halfway up the apex curve. And then you'll come out of the corner to the left on the lead up to turn two. We're going to remain in fourth gear through turn two. Turn two is a very, very fast corner. It doesn't require any brakes. Notice the cone is knocked over here on the right, but that's about where it should be. So you'll apex right in line with that cone. Coming out of turn two, you're going to go out just to straddle the second seam line, and then you'll upshift to fifth. There's a white and pink cone on your right side here in the elbow of the asphalt. You want to be about 2 to 3 feet away from that white and pink cone, and what it does is it sets you up for a straight braking zone up here to the left. You'll downshift to fourth gear before you turn into turn three. This is probably the second most challenging corner to get right. It starts to go downhill again. As you come off of turn three, you're going to go straight to the left. So hit the left edge here. There's a cone on the left that says brake, and that's just a reference for where to place the car and when to start braking into this corner, because that's the only place where we tell you when you should start braking, because it's a little deceiving. So apex is at the bottom there, and then we come out to the right as we leave the apex. We have some pylons that kind of highlight the edge of the track, and then we're going to go into a set of S's, so you want to clip half of these apex curves, okay, and get really quite a bit up on this one. You can downshift to third in this area if you'd like to. Not a requirement, though. And then we'll come out to the left. Now we're heading into the most challenging corner on the racetrack by far. It's turn 8. You want to take your time with this one, okay? Don't go into the inside too soon. Just gently tighten your radius up to the right, because you got to stay to the far right edge to lead up to the turning cone that's knocked over there. You don't have enough time to really use the track width like we do in other corners from 8 to 9, so you really got to sacrifice the exit of turn 8 to set up for turn 9. So just keep that in mind. Take it slow, build up that habit of just making sure you're staying to the far right out of turn 8. Got our turn-in cone for turn 10, final corner of the lap. That's where we started from, obviously. We'll come out to the left, accelerate up to fourth gear. Wait for those orange cones, and then we'll have you pull to the right, Mike, and go to the back of the group. You're waiting for the blue 22. The rest of you just stay on the left, accelerating up to 5th gear. So Alexander, you're behind me next. So let's cruise on up. Coming into turn 1 now, okay? So if we went up to 5th gear, you'll need to downshift to 4th before you turn in. You'll steer in, get halfway up the apex curve, and then you'll come out to the left. You should be looking up for that next turn-in cone in the distance. Steer in gradually, touch the apex curb, and go out just past the 2nd seam line up to 5th gear. Heading up to the left, downshift to 4th, look to the right. This is turn 3, you want to come all the way down to the apex, and then go straight down to the left. Now with the ball, what you do here is you go down to the cone that says brake. That's where you're going to start to brake when you're going faster. You come up to the middle. You don't want to go too high up to the right, and then back down to the bottom. So it's kind of like a very soft triangle shape with your line. But you don't want to make it too wide. You don't want to get way up to the right in the bowl because it makes the corner sharper trying to get down to the apex for that high up. You tap that curve, then get completely up on this one, and you want to be left of the middle before you turn right for turn 7. We come out to the left. Again, our turn-in cone is up here on the left. Gradually steer, nice and smooth. Be patient. And then stay to the far right after the apex on the lead up to the turn-in cone. Then back across to this apex. Out to the right before we come across to the left. Alright. Should be to the left just before the number 1, so we're set up to turn in at the turn-in cone. We turn in, we're going to get all the way up on the apex curve. We straighten the wheel out as we come out. Okay, we're going to do a rotation. Go to the back there, Alexander. Slow down and wait for the gray number 16, while Phil and Mike should stay on the left, accelerating up to 5th. All right, we're going into turn 1 again. All right, should downshift to 4th before we turn in. You need to be about halfway up the apex curve, at the apex cone. We come out to the left, waiting for the turn-in cone. Gradually steer in. Get up on the apex. We'll come out just past the 2nd seam line, so just put your left tires over that seam line in the asphalt. Then you go up to 5th, and straight up. And you want to be pointed at the 1 board, so when you're braking, when you're going faster, you're going to eventually reach the left side at the number 1, which gives you about another 100 feet before you turn in. We'll steer in all the way down to the apex curve. We'll go straight down to the left. Okay. So a tip I'll give you is as you come up to the middle after the braking cone, look out your driver's side window to see your apex. If you wait for that apex to come into view in the windshield, it'll be too late. We'll constantly kind of reiterate that point of using those side windows through the first day. Super important not to limit your vision to just the windshield. Get up on this apex curve. Be left of the middle before you turn right for turn 7. And then we'll come off of this to the left. Alright, got our turning coming up ahead. Just remember, keep the car in the middle for pretty much all of the corner until the last moment, and then when you clip this apex, stay down the right edge of asphalt so you're set up for the turning point. You don't want to let it come off that right edge whatsoever, because as you add speed to it, it'll only get worse. Alright, back across to the left here, setting up for turn 10. Be patient with your turn in here. Don't turn in too early. Make sure you wait for that turn. See, you're turning in right there, Phil. You probably turned in about 80 feet before the turning cone off the left edge. So just be aware of that. That's something that you definitely want to avoid, because that type of mistake can put you off the racetrack coming out of the corner as you add speed to things. So we'll make sure we're staying down the edge of the track till we're ready to turn. Well, at least our front bumper gets the general area of the turning cone. Okay, go to the back of the group for me, Phil. You're waiting for the white one. So go to the right, come on up, Mike and Alexander, accelerate up to 5th gear. Back in line for me there, Phil, behind the light 124. If you're in 5th gear, we need to downshift to 4th before we turn into turn 1. Tires on the apex curb. Then we'll come out to the left. Waiting for the turning cone on the left before we steer in. Touch the apex curb and then we'll come off of it. Just out past the second seam line up to 5th gear. On a straight shot past the light and pink cone up to the left. Slowing the car down up to the left, down to 4th. Look around to the right. Gradually steer all the way to the apex. And from that we straighten out, down to the left. Straight in. Work out the driver's side, make it smooth. Go from the middle down to the white line here. And then out to the right. Use all the racetrack. Good. Coming up the hill, clip the curb on the right. Down to 3rd, up on this curb. Going left to right. Alright, then we come out to the left. Wait for your turn-in cone. Then we go smoothly around. Get on the apex at the right time and stay to the far right. Okay, waiting for the turn-in. Then we come across. Clip that. We're going to use all the track to the right before we go to the left for turn 10. Wait for your turn-in cone. Then down to the apex. Okay, we're going to do a rotation. Please go to the right, Mike. Wait for the blue 22 again. So slow it down because we need to slow down more, Mike. You need to be back to the left before those double orange cones. Thanks, appreciate it. Come on up, Alexander and Phil. So remember, we go up to 5th gear on the front straight, and then we downshift to 4th going into turn 1. Look up ahead to the turn-in cone for turn 2. Alright, smoothly come in to the apex. We come off the apex, we're going to go just out to straddle that second asphalt seam line. Up to 5th. Straight shot up to the left. Down to 4th. Look around to the right. Gradually steer. Just keep steering until you get to the apex. You'll straighten out to the left. Look around to the left, nice and smooth, so go up to the middle, then come back down the white line. Then out to the right. Down to 3rd. We want to be just left of middle, so get up on that apex curve, go left of middle before you turn right. And then come off of this to the left. Nice and smooth here. Big arc, okay? Just gradually bring it in. Look up the far right edge so you remind yourself to stay to the right. If you just focus on that apex cone, you're going to probably run wide as you come out of it. It's turn 9, coming out of turn 9 right to left. Wait for your turn-in cone, then down to the apex. Alright, we're going to do another rotation here. Go to the right, follow the back of the group, please. Alexander, you're waiting for the gray 16. Once again, those of you on the left, upshift to 5th. Slow the car down, downshift to 4th. Look to the right. Come into the apex. And then out to the left. Tires on the apex curve. Then we come out this second seam line up to 5th gear. Make sure we're tight to the apex, or the near apex on the right, the light pink cone, because that'll give you that straight diagonal going up to the left before you apply the brakes. Down to 4th. look right, steer all the way down, tires on the curb, then straight to the left. Okay, looking around to the left, bringing it down to the white line before we go out to the right. Coming up the hill out of turn 4 now, we're heading into the S's, and again, if you'd like to, you can downshift to third right here. Go left to right. Coming out to the left now. Nice and smooth. Turn the steering wheel pretty slow, okay? Don't want to dive in all at once. Pretend like you're pulling a trailer behind you. You need to keep that trailer to the right side out of the corner. All right, out to the right before we come to the left. Setting up for the turn-in point. Looking right, though. Wait for it. Add your steering. That was a little bit better that time, Phil. All right, Phil, nice job. Let's do a rotation. Go to the right for me, please. Fall to the back. You're waiting for that white 124. So this will be our final lap before we exit. Then we're going to go do our next exercise, which is the anti-lock braking exercise. Oh, wow, you guys did great. All right. Really good at following directions, following what I'm doing, so that's really good to see the first thing in the morning on the first day. So try to keep that mindset that you had, and, you know, you guys look like you focused on the details while driving, which is really important. I did call a couple mistakes, like, hey, missing apexes, you know, so we don't want to do that. Anywhere there's an orange and green cone, you should be physically touching that green and white curve to some extent. And then making sure that you don't turn in early, okay? So if there's a turn-in cone, you know, it's not that you need to wait for the cone and yank the steering wheel in aggressively, but the car shouldn't be leaving that edge of the track, you know, more than 10, 15 feet before that turn-in cone, okay? They're rough guidelines. It's not, you know, these cones, we're not out here driving from cone to cone. That's the last thing I want you to do because your eyes would get down. The cones are guiding you, kind of giving you a rough guideline. Like, I'm not going to wait for this turn-in cone before I yank it in to the right. You still want it to be really smooth. All right, let's get our left turn signal on. That's what we use to indicate we're exiting the racetrack. We're going to cruise over here. And we're just waiting for our next exercise to be clear. And then we'll get